it's out. Mario Nieto World is dropped. Chord generator. It's a VST3 and AU, and it has a standalone for the Windows and the Mac OS. I know he said that it's eventually coming to iOS, which is kind of cool. It probably reminds you of another plugin called Chord Jam, if I'm not mistaken. Has some similarities, but a lot of differences too. He made a great video that shows you how to use it. A lot of the features, specialty features like changing the color, actually work in Chord Bloom, or not Chord Bloom, Harmony Bloom. So if you have Harmony Bloom, you might understand some of the features. And he has a video out right now that gives an overview of the first version that he's released. So it's described as a chord generator. It's a MIDI tool that generates chords with unexpected magical variations. And this is a video on it. So check out his YouTubes. Here's the complete overview I was just talking about. Okay, right here. And then the price of it is €29, which is about, right now, I think like $31, $32 or something in US, I believe. It has scale and root customizations, which is great. 57 scales and modes for harmonic exploration. And then here are a few other things that are in there too. So you can really deep dive into it. I'm going to do some surface stuff with it just to show you kind of how it works. I do have it. Here's the requirements that you need for your system. So make sure you read all that. And they do have a manual that's out, which is nice. Make sure you read that stuff before you buy it to make sure your system is supported. Otherwise, you buy it and then pretty much like dealing with trying to figure out how you're going to get your money back or get a better system, I guess. But here is the requirements. So definitely check that out. Let's go into Ableton Live. I think in the video he uses Bit. He used to be in the Ableton, but now he uses Lord, I can't think of what the other one is. Anyway, I'm gonna carry on with that. So in the standalone, I think there's some sounds built into it. And in here, I'm using the AU version. In Ableton, you have to place it on a track. Then you want to set it to N. And then you want to create another track that you're going to run it to. So in this case, I'm going to pull it up here. I'm going to use this keys. So I'm going to grab a plugin. Let's go with, let's use Rhodes. All right, so let's grab Rhodes, throw it in. We'll select, let's just use the suitcase. That pan is moving like crazy. I'm gonna sync it to that. And I'm gonna turn the depth down a little bit. About 50%. Maybe the speed down a little bit. Okay, that sounds a little bit better. I don't want it overbearing. All right, so let's go look at it. Chord generator. So now we have a sound. Here it is. So here you have your presets. He has all the presets for these two different people. This is Mario's. Then Frio Ventus. I don't know who that is. Maybe somebody who actually worked on the project. They give you a little recommendation of speeds, a little paragraph of telling you what it is, I guess. So Dorian, and there. You can import your own presets. All right, so the root. This is cool. Leave on. I would highly suggest if you're first doing this to leave on your the notes right here that when you touch it, so that way if you don't know what something is, it'll tell you what it is. So this can be selected, and you can put the root that you want. But there's a lot of randomization. This one right here can randomize everything for you. See, all at once. It's randomizing it. But then you'll notice there's little random tools right next to each thing, so you could use those too. Right. And here's some chords down here. This is where the inversions happen. So you can move a note up an octave or down. Down an octave, I'm sorry. Or up an octave, or put it in the middle. And this is your bass note, which you can adjust where it hits. You can lock each one. And these numbers activate the different voice of the note. So first does not mean, obviously it's the first note in the chord, but second is the second note in the chord. So if you played a C, E, G, right? C, E, G, which is a basic C major chord, this note would be C, this would be E, and this would be G. Any note past that becomes other notes in that chord. Could be a 7th, a 9th, or a 13th, depending on what you activate. Now this little feature here is interesting. It says it doubles the selected chord voicings to play an octave higher, creating a fuller gospel-like sound. So you'll see that in some of the gospel chords where they'll use extra notes to make the sound thicker. So as long as it's on whatever you play. So this is something to note. Right here, this one is important. If you select it, it's only playing, it's spreading this across the keyboard with this particular mode, we're going to call it. All right. So this is a major 7. So if I hit a C, it's playing well, right now it's randomized. Let me pick go back. Major 7. Take the randomize off. So if I hit a C, it's playing a C major 7. Right? That's what it's supposed to play. By the way, I have to set this up to work. Let me do this right now. Hold on a second. I forgot. Very important thing in Ableton. Chord generator. Make sure that's on. Now you'll hear it. So every note I hit, if you look down here, if I hit this note, which is a C sharp, this becomes a C sharp major 7. So it'll always play a major 7, no matter which one it is. So that's one way to use it, by keeping this keyboard on. If you turn the keyboard off, it corresponds to the note that you see here. Right? Right here, actually. C3, C sharp. If you look down here, you can see the numbers that it's representing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 1. Sorry, my dog's in the back. So currently, you can have up to 12 pads loaded with. Hold on 1 second. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Yeah, my dog hears a noise and she has to alert us, I guess, which is good. All right. This is just my vocals coming through. So going back to where we were, let's get back to that chord. So you'll see there's 2 options basically to play it. It's using this where you could actually set what chords you're going to use, up to 12 of them. Or picking one, turning on the keyboard, and spreading everything across the keys using this particular mode, we'll call it. So that's kind of cool to lock it in that way if you like. With the chord, with this gospel, I'm gonna call it a gospel voicing thing, playing that extra octave, you can hear the difference. So let's turn it off. So you get a little more full sound with the chord. So that's pretty cool if you like the full sound. If you don't want it, just turn it off. It's not a big deal. This is important to hear because this is what you're playing, which you can randomize. So if you put this on, every time you trigger this pad, it's going to change the chord mode. So watch. So it stays in scale, which is kind of cool too, once you set the scale, but which is down here, by the way, in case you're wondering. So you can set the scale and leave it, or even randomize it if you want to do that, where it changes every time, but I'm not going to do that. But if you lock the scale here, then you don't have to worry about playing a chord out of scale. And you get these random sounding chords. And the velocity changing can be randomized here. So you can also randomize the strumming too if you like. But then you can also quantize the delays so that so it matches the tempo. So that way you don't have some inconsistent note spacing, which is this is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I kind of like it a lot. All right, so I'm gonna turn this off. And then you can do this link where they're all linked together. Excuse me. So yeah, and then you can just set it. Because you might want some delay on there just to give the notes a little. And then what's cool too that I noticed that I like a lot is that you can set the range of where you want it to jump in here. So if you don't want it doing certain chords, you want to remove them, you just click off on those chords. Right now I'm going to leave it just because, and there are a lot of chords in here, by the way. You can see the modes, I say chord, mean this right here, which is a mode. But it's a type of chord, however you want to term it. And we're staying in the Dorian scale with the root note as C. But we could randomize the root note if you really wanted to get crazy, or select a different one. So let's go with G, Dorian. Turn that off, turn that off. You could also lock the velocity if you wanted to, if you find a set velocity that you kind of want to stick with. And you can set the range. So you see here, I'll show you on this one. So left, right, if you want the range to be smaller, which I prefer on velocity, I don't want it going all over the place. So you can set just the range maybe in the middle, or even like the strumming, like you don't want it to be too wild. Maybe just a little bit like that. Which is really cool. I have to say, the voicings you can come up with, the way it's like intermingled with the chords, but you're getting some of them strummed, some of them not. It's pretty cool. So this type of generator is really a song ideal spark type thing. Something else that's really cool that I saw you can do is you can drag, let's say you play the MIDI, and now there it is. So you could create 12 chords you like, put them all here, and then take the MIDI and then put them in the order that you want them to play in on the timeline, which is crazy and good. So let's click on, and then you just move it to wherever you want it to be. Which, maybe that is at the one. Let's do that. There we go. So now you have, wait, am I on scalar? Oh, I'm on the chord generator. No wonder it's not working. All right. There we go. Now I'm on there. So, right. So now you have that chord that you chose. And you can do all your chords that way or just play them in. That's the way I like to do it. Okay. So if you don't like a chord, pretty simple to get rid of one. Just go up here, drag it away. Now it's gone. Then you can add a new one. So press the button up here. Let's say you go here and you press, you copy over one. Now, so by the way, these are randomly generating anyway, right? Once I do this is another feature that's really cool that I want to show you. So this little wand here generates unique chord patterns and things, watch, for each pad. So I click it, now you have all these chords. By the way, you can touch the pad just to hear what it sounds like. But it's playing all the notes in this root note. So if you want to change the root note, you turn this on, select it, and now you see there's no root note here. So it's whatever you play on the keyboard becomes the root note. Pretty sweet, right? There's more to this. Of course, you can change the colors. These are the same. If you wanna, maybe there's a better color for your eyes. Let me see. I like orange, so we'll leave that orange. Set as the default skin, yes. And then I would keep updates on if I was you guys, and the show tools, I would leave that on until you get used to it. I kind of want my default color to be blue, so let me change that. That's purple. There we go. And then I'll just adjust or not. For some reason, blue and chords just go together from my mind. This is a little too dark. The only thing is like if the background is too dark, it's harder to see it. So let's do this. I'll leave it there. All right, cool. Beautiful. All right. Some of this stuff I don't get. I haven't used it enough to know that, but like repeater is being able to set the speed of the voice in the grid mode. So for me, I'm not 100% sure how I would use that. I would have to try it, but you can set the division or even click randoms on that too if you want to have it randomize each time you press it. But it will, it gets tricky as you do this board. So I guess you have to turn it on. Oh, it's on lock. Oh, that sounds great. Anyway, so that's with the keyboard on. If you turn it off again, you go back to having these different chords that you play across. Now, I will say, I would love to see more than just 12. Like Scalar, you could have a ton of them across there. So it would be cool if there was pages here some kind of way. And with all this space over here, I wonder if that's possible to maybe move this back a little bit, this way, and then have a little arrow that allows you to maybe go through pages of them. And another thing is, it would be cool to have this one up here. So you can move these around, but instead of it going 7 up here, have it go 1 at the top and across. There may be a reason why he has it this way, though. I'm not sure. But it just confuses me. It feels backwards. Like I go from the left down is how my mind thinks. But when you go from the bottom up, but there may be some reason in it. So the global octave can be set to change. So basically, if you want to shift the chord up, this is how you're doing it. Which is kind of nice from time to time to get different chord variations. Maybe it's this color driving me crazy. Let's change it again. You got to find the one that helps you. I'm going to go with this green. We'll go down, make it a little bit darker. Okay, there we go. You can build your own and then save your own too up here, or if you just want to randomize, just randomly load them. There you go. So many options depending on what you want to do. Some of these other things, I'm not sure why. Like, I don't really get what this is for. You can activate or deactivate each one of these repeaters, but I'm not 100% sure I can say I understand what the repeater is doing. In time, I'll learn. I'll let you know once I know. Of course, we talked about drag MIDI, so you could do MIDI capture, and then if you play something, capture that, right? So if you turn it on, now you start playing. Well, there's nothing playing there, so let me do this. Okay, and then you should be able to drag. Is that it? It didn't capture it? Let me try again. Enable MIDI capture. In the DAW mode, it starts recording when play is paused or pressed. Oh, okay. So this works outside of in the standalone, but when you're in the DAW, if you do this, it's just using MIDI capture. I reckon once you hit play up here, so stop and stop it there, I guess. I don't know how useful this would be to anybody because if you, especially if you're in this DAW, because you already have MIDI capture, so you could just play it and but it does work. It's pretty cool. So if you're in a DAW that doesn't have MIDI capture, that's a feature you probably will enjoy having for sure. In this one, you have MIDI capture, so it's kind of pointless to worry about it unless you just feel you really need it. Or like using it this way. I don't really see much benefit in Ableton, at least. All right, so that's what I see so far. That's what I mean, of course, you can bypass the plugin. This is in the other one. If you like something you had and want to go back, they do have an undo feature that takes you back. And other than that, I think it's a worthy plugin. Grab it while you can and enjoy it. It's really good, and I'm glad he made it. Kind of complements the other one, which is Harmony Bloom, and it focuses more on melodies, leads, whereas this one's focused on the chords. But they're all generative tools that you can use to kind of make songs and write music. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you think you would like to get it. If you come up with ideas of how you use it, let me know. I want to know. I want to learn from you too. All right. Hope all is well. See you in the next video.